bike week here at home, and that means all the bikers from all over the US come here to ride their bikes. I don't really understand the concept, but they just zoom around our town for like a week, and it's to me very annoying because it's so loud and they're just everywhere. They're like these loud buzzing bees, and they're just riding around the streets. Like, okay, I could understand going up and down the coast, but for a week, like, you'd think that would get a little boring. But then they start going around the streets, and the streets, who would want to do that? But they do, and they're mostly older people because they're the ones that can afford the Harleys and all that. But they're just like everywhere. Anyway, that's just the station. Hey everyone, haven't been doing videos for a while, but if you have been following my channel, you'd see that I'm putting more and more of my trip videos up, and you at least know that I landed in India. And of course I'm back now, but I'm going to be getting more and more of those video vlogs up so you can see what I was up to there. Anyway, it's a beautiful day here, and I was just thinking as I was getting ready to go out, you know, it's not always easy to stay in a happy place, to feel good. Sometimes it just takes everyday work. You know, I get these messages on Facebook from my friends and stuff saying, oh, I know things are going great for you. I know everything's wonderful for you. And, you know, how do you really know that? Because I don't always feel like it's always wonderful. You know, I might be posting happy posts, or someone might see my trips that I go on and think, wow, you know, she's doing everything so great. You know, that it takes manifesting. It takes everyday work on my attitude and my energy and my mood to land those kind of things into my life. And doesn't mean just because I go somewhere it was all a bed of roses either, okay? Because everything has its challenges, and we're always learning through relationships, and we're always learning through our experiences. So even though I may be traveling in India or Egypt or Mexico or Peru or whatever, I'm also being totally challenged in those trips. So, you know, don't think that life comes so easy. Now, I'd like to change that belief and say life comes easy, because that's how I like to live my life. I like to actually affirm that I'm in the flow and everything goes well. So that does help. So that's what I'm talking about. You know, I talk about my 40-day manifesting breakthrough video e-course, and I'm going to keep talking about it because it's an amazing product. I don't know any other product that delivers as much as I do in that product, and I'm not just saying that because I made it. It's true. I would never promote a product of my own, especially if I didn't think it was good. But it's about creating everyday natural habits on, you know, remembering to check in on your moods, remembering to see where you're at every day, and, you know, how you're perceiving things and how your relationships are going. Because however, you know, whatever ways you're being drained every day, whether it's a challenge of, you know, struggle of work or money or relationship, that puts a drain on you, and there's ways to get around those things so they don't affect your outcomes. So it becomes a natural habit. And that's what I'm saying is, like, when things become a natural habit, then it makes things easier. You don't have to be like constantly battling it. Although you're aware of it, you can just, you know, learn tools to maneuver through it. So sometimes, and I'm not even saying sometimes, it takes a lot to constantly be on your game and do it in a way that is authentic, that is natural, that is, you know, habit forming and part of your everyday life. Because if you're pushing it, if you're trying it, if you're pretending it, yeah, that'll get you so far. But it has to come to a part where it's believable. And, you know, some people say fake it till you make it, and that's a good start. But honestly, you don't want to be doing that all the time. You want to be really believing it and living it and breathing it. So you know, sometimes I wake up and I think, you know, wow, I had this great shift. Going on those long trips always does provide some sort of shift. You've just got to be open to recognizing it and tapping into the good parts of the trips and not letting the lousy parts drag you down, and so you don't realize the gifts in the trip, because there's always going to be gifts. And you know, you can apply that to everyday life too. If you're not going on trips, you know, there's always a gift in everyday life too, but it's all in your perception and what you focus on. So, you know, focusing on, you know, what good came out of it, how am I feeling now, what would I, you know, wish I was still doing. And one thing that came to me about feeling good, one thing I love about my Rajasthan sisters they are all about the bling. I never, you know, it's so weird. I have really experienced a huge contrast, okay? I spent a lot of time in Egypt, a lot of time around Muslim women who, you know, they're supposed to be covered. And more, there's, you know, women in Egypt that are covered, but they're wearing skin tight stuff. So they're showing more than I am, even though I'm showing my arms and part of my legs. They're really like got skin tight around their waist, their boobs, everything. It's like, whoa, lady, you're looking very sexy. And they're supposed to be wearing loose, baggy, big clothes. And so anyway, in general, their culture is to be very, what would you call it? I don't know, conservative or just more of hiding yourself just because, I mean, whatever. I mean, I'm not judging that. That's cool. But in India, even though they're covered, I also feel the sexy in those ladies because they got the bling bling. I mean, it's all about the bling. I never wear bangles. They've got bangle stars all over the place. And look, I wore my bangles today in honor of my sisters, my bling bling sisters. And it just, when I was I was like, you know what, I'm going to wear bangles today. I never wear bangles, but I have a bunch because, you know, we had ceremonies and stuff and you had to, you know, be about the bling. So I decided today I'm going to put those on, and you know what, I'm just wearing like a shirt and some shorts right now, but I feel so like just putting on those bangles made me so like totally like, wow, you know, I'm about the bling today. That looks nice. That's feminine. That's beautiful. It's powerful. I got my Ganesh, look at this awesome thing I had made, pendant on. I had them make it with these crystal beads, and got my Om going on. And, you know, it changes everything about you. And it makes you feel, to me, it made me feel happy, and it gave me also back memories of the trip. I loved the bangle store and the bangle guy. He knew how to rack up some beautiful designs with bangles, believe me. And, it just put a smile on my face. That alone, like, made my day brighter. Of course, having a beautiful sunny day today made me happy. I woke up this morning and opened up the front door and did a little laundry and, you know, had my tea and did whatever I had to do. And I just, you know, today I notice I'm just looking at the things that are making me feel good and making me happy. And that's what it takes. And I've got to do some work today. And, I got to go back and do it. I had to go out and run a quick errand, so I thought I'd take the time to make a video while I'm at it. But I'll be going back home to my computer, but I also want to enjoy just feeling beautiful. And, you know, Goddess Lakshmi, who is a beautiful energy. I always picture her tossing golden coins around. She's a goddess of prosperity and abundance, really abundance. And her energy to me always feels like a beautiful yellow, golden, and pink. And I've just been putting on this essential oil blend that I made with Isis called Love. for the last few days, and just smelling that and putting it in my aura and imagining Lakshmi energy, that golden yellow and pink within me and around me, and just wanting to just be love, to bathe myself in that love and abundance energy. And it feels so good. I've been doing that since yesterday, and she's so present. I have actually a pendant of her that I wore yesterday, but I wanted to wear this one today because it matched me. Actually, that one would have matched too. But anyway, put what you can into your day. Like, imagine yourself in this giant, beautiful crystal mixing bowl, and what you can incorporate into yourself each day. Reinvent yourself each day, your mood, your beauty, your power, your energy, how you want to feel as you're walking around or being in your day. And I already mentioned, the bling bling made me feel beautiful and powerful, and remembering just all about the bling in India. I love that the women really, it's like they just let their beauty be. Like, it's so beautiful. I went to the first temple. We went for a Ganesh ceremony, and we went to this Ganesh temple, and it was my first day wearing a sari, and I felt really out of my element and uncomfortable, but it was a beautiful sari. And there's tons of people, and I'm actually in the temple, and this Indian lady like taps me, and she's like, she doesn't speak English, but she's like telling me like, oh, she really liked my sari, and then she pointed to my arms, and she's like, you don't have any bangles on. Like, she was like, you look beautiful, but you don't have any bangles. And I look back at those pictures, and it looks like I'm naked without the bangles. And I was like, oh, wow, and I just thought it was so funny that she made the point to tell me, you got to put on some bangles. Like, you need your bling bling, goddess. You got to be in your bling. And I just love that about the Indian women. I really, that was one of the things, I loved a lot of things, but that was one thing that I really loved. And today I realized, as I was getting ready, the contrast. The universe will always offer you contrast so you can expand bigger into what you want. But you've got to be aware of that and take it. Like, I was all about the freedom. And when I moved to Egypt, I had just completely freed myself. But I found myself walking into complete control energy. Like, it was like all that freedom was being ripped away from me, and I was freaking out. And I experienced the biggest contrast in freedom, like getting all my freedoms. Was like I had to fight every day, every inch for my freedom. As a person, as a woman, as a Western woman, I was being challenged every single step of the way. I was in arguing mode. It was horrible because there was no way I was going to let anybody take that away from me. And it took I dealt with that for a long time, and I couldn't believe it. And then, I totally got out of that situation where I was like, hell no, you're not taking my freedom away. I don't care where I am or what the culture is here. I'm not walking around the streets in tank tops and bikinis, for God's sake, but don't tell me how to be, and don't talk to people, especially men. Don't look at men. Don't do it. It's just like, keep your mouth shut and, cover your head. Like, what the hell are you talking about? Like, where did I land? And so, going to India, where, it's still amazing because the women are covered, but they're beautiful. And they, it's like, one thing I was like covering my stomach because I didn't want it to show. And the ladies that were getting me dressed were like, no, and showing me their stomach, and like, it's good. And you really, we were all pushed out of our comfort zone, I believe, when in wearing saris and just how we had to be. It was obvious that we were being pushed out of our comfort zones. And I'll talk for myself. I was feeling pushed out of my comfort zone to have my stomach showing in these saris, and I was always trying to cover it up, but the women that were getting me dressed were like, no, this is how you wear it, and it's like, you rock this, woman, you get into it, put on your bangles, and you go out there and you show how beautiful you are. And I had to get used to the sari real quick, and you know what, I did get used to it, and I felt so beautiful as a result of it. And I didn't even care, like, if I had a roll sticking out there, here or there. I mean, of course, it's not like I want to show everything, but really, I became much more comfortable in my self, in my body, in my beauty. Yeah. And so anyway, so going to India was a complete contrast of what I experienced in Egypt. And I wish the women of Egypt could find their beauty, even if they have to be covered up, like really, you can still be beautiful and modest. And that's how I felt in the sari too, because I was all covered up, but I felt beautiful even in my modesty. I mean, some skin was showing, and that's how they do it. That's cool. But a lot was covered, and it was so beautiful. I felt, in the sari, I actually felt so beautiful. That's what I'm talking about, like today when I put on the bangles and stuff. When I was in India and I would put on my sari, the women would show up to get me dressed, and they would always say, "Oh, your sari's so beautiful. Really, it's so beautiful." I had 3 of them. And that made me feel good that locals were thinking that I had good taste in my saris. So beautiful, so beautiful. And then they'd get me dressed, and the look in their eyes, like they were so joyful to see me in this beautiful sari. They didn't even know who I was, but they were just like, oh, had the look on their face like, oh, you're so beautiful. And then they'd go, you have bangles, and they would put bangles on in my bindi. I should have wore a bindi today. I brought a lot of really cool bindis home. And they would put the bindi on. I'd let them choose which one. And they would put makeup on my face. They say, more makeup, like an Indian woman. And I would walk out into the palace, into the courtyard, and I would feel so beautiful. And it didn't matter if anybody thought I was or not. It wasn't even that. I didn't care about what anyone else thought. In that moment, I felt like a princess. I felt so beautiful. And then we were in these beautiful ceremonies. And my friend who had her wedding, she was so drop dead gorgeous in her outfits. And I mean, it took a lot to find those and get her fitted and all that. It was all part of the process. But oh my gosh, she looked so beautiful. And the other women that were on the trip with us in their saris, they looked so beautiful. And you could just feel the energy of feeling that beauty, being in, not even if we weren't in the palace, I still felt it when I was out at the dirtiest places in my sari, but still just being in that energy and, having the bangles, having the beautiful sari on, I don't know, I really honor the Indian women and their ability to be in their beauty. And I see those goddesses like Lakshmi. And I always thought, gosh, she's so gorgeous. She's so beautiful. She carries a beautiful energy of love and gentleness and prosperity and abundance and her gorgeous state of being. And that's how I felt, especially this night. And amazing that I'm wearing those golden colors, and I just feel the essence of her aura. And I wasn't thinking about it then. I'm just thinking about it now because those are the colors that I totally think of with her. And I've been really embracing the feeling of love and gentleness, and let it go and be at peace and be happy. Like Lakshmi's always about, don't worry, everything's fine. Be happy. Let your abundance in. Be love. Like, I've always loved her energy. I've always been close to her. And she's always been one of the goddesses that I've always worked with. So I feel much closer to her as a result now. And now I really get it a lot more because I felt that. So anyway, I'm where I need to be. I'm at the bank. And speaking about abundance. And I just wanted to tell you, what can you do every day to just tap more into your beauty, into your happiness so you feel good? Throwing on some bangles or some earrings or putting on some makeup and lip gloss, being out in the sun. But it's always a state of mind. You've got to choose that. You've got to be the one to wake up in the morning and go, wow, it's a beautiful day. Oh, you know what? I think I'm going to put on some essential oils that make me feel good and happy, or let me tap into this goddess's energy and feel it within myself and vibrate that into my aura today. Or, who you're going to allow yourself to interact with, because some people are just a drain and bring you down. Like, maybe you just stay away from those people for a day. But you've got to start creating these natural habits where you do stuff to bring out the beauty in yourself, the happiness in yourself, the love in yourself, the abundant feeling, the good feeling of just having beauty around you. Seeing beauty and feeling beauty feels really good. And so I'm not just saying this for the women, the men, you can also feel the beauty within yourself, or you just feel that you know what makes you feel like you look good, feel good. What do you like to concentrate that makes you happy? So it's the same thing with men. Remember, all men and all women have the same should have the same 50-50 masculine, feminine energy, and you can tap into that, and you're powerful in that. And women, I just want to say, the more you're tapped into your beauty and your goddess energy, the more powerful you are. You don't have to drive your power with male energy, with masculine energy. It's not really that attractive for a female to drive her energy with masculine energy. So make sure you're coming from that gentle, powerful beauty. And that's what's going to make people turn around and notice you and look at you and love you and feel that wow about you. And with that, I'll let you go, and I'll talk to you all later. And remember to subscribe to my YouTube channel. Go to my website, CindyEiler.com, and sign up for my free updates. I'm going to be announcing some trips soon, but there's trips on my website. Also, what was I going to say? Oh yeah, keep watching my channel, because I'm going to continue to upload videos from my trip, so you can see how that unfolds with that goddess, Indian goddess, bling bling beauty. And I'll see you guys all later. Bye.